numbers, what do you see? In you're looking at Brooklyn, and you really built a lot of retail all over the country, East Coast, West Coast. What put you on this? Is Brooklyn going to attract, let me give you two things. I think Brooklyn needs another department store. I would be very happy. We're working on this in Harlem. We're working on more, and this is going to be the department store decade. I think we signed 5 or 7 new department stores from Manhattan, including 2 new entries, Neiman Marcus and Nordstrom, and an expansion. So I think they need a department store in downtown Brooklyn. At one time had 3 or 5 department stores. But will luxury retail, and we know we're seeing the niche retailer, the artisanal, and we know that we have the big box, and we have affordable retail, and we have cheap, fast fashion, and we have all price points. Is luxury coming to Brooklyn? Is Gucci coming to Brooklyn? We got Barney's, but that was a co-op store. Are you seeing any of that feelers from your clients looking at Brooklyn?
Well,
okay.
Realistically, those names, I have to be honest, no, I don't have any interest from. We're doing, for instance, the Ferragamo store in Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills now, as you know. They're not coming to Brooklyn. They haven't expressed that to us. We have some Italian designers that have expressed that are more young, more cutting edge, and sometimes they belong to the same houses because a lot of these companies, like a Thomas Meyer or a D Squared or something like that, and they're interested, and because like I said earlier, Brooklyn is a brand that attracting that type of clientele, and they want to be there right at the cutting edge. So we're hopeful that some of those people come, and we're hopeful that we can accommodate the construction.
How about in your service sector? I mean, there are some retailers, like I look at Creed, and my clients like Bond Number 9, who actually made some very successful fragrances, the most successful called Lonely Island, named after all neighborhoods. Do you see any of those niches?
I think that would be a good fit. Bond Number 9 would be a good fit in Brooklyn. They could have a Dumbo, right? I know they like to name everything after their neighborhoods or their streets or something.
Well, we'll think of that.
Yeah.
You're not getting
I'm not going to create them, but
not in the deal.
if they call it Dumbo, I won't go with this.
Oh, it wants something. Okay.
Well, with all the other part, not just retailing, what the borough president said, and of course everything going on in Manhattan, and the big, the affordable housing part, because that's something that has to work in building Brooklyn, not just in retail. The demand for retail comes from every economic group. And so I want to take my toe in Staten Island, because I want everybody to give me their opinion about the new project by the pier, what is that, the Wonder Wheel, the Ferris wheel, also known as the Wonder Wheel. But tell me about housing, where you see that. I think that's something he touched on, and I think it's something in the forefront for everyone. And certainly in the retail sector, we look to address all those demands.
Housing is obviously very important. It's an item on the mayor's agenda, affordable housing. We as developers have always taken that very seriously, and we don't build buildings that don't have an affordability component. So out of our 6,400 units in Pacific Park, over 2,000, I believe the number is 2,400, will be roughly affordable on some level. And there's income bands, different income bands. I think that it's something that everybody has to commit to doing, because the city will just become, a completely tale of two cities, as they say. And the income disparity is something that I don't think is sustainable over time. We need that level of service workers, of obviously police, teachers, etc., all of those things. And if they can't afford to live here, then it's going to have an impact on society.
Jack, you originally, you were born, raised in Brooklyn? Coney Island. And you know, it is an interesting, because Coney Island with all of its attractions, they've tried to enhance not just the retail, but they're rebuilding after Sandy. What are you seeing for that market there? Just an overview. Do you have in Coney? Oh, Coney. I'm going away from this panel with so much material. I have all new material. Okay, Jack, give me Coney.
So with Coney, you saw my dad, and my dad really bought up a large chunk of the property there, and he looked to really transform Coney into what it used to be. That that old steeplechase park where it was a destination for so many New Yorkers coming and wanting to stay in the tens of hotels that they used to have there. And so he wants to bring that back, like bring the culture back to Coney Island. As you'll see this summer, I think the New York Times wrote up something about it, the Coney Art Waltz. And he's going to bring tons of street artists back to his slots on, you saw the Stillwell. And you're going to see food vendors and tons of activities, performances, events. And so this is just one of the first steps of many to get Coney Island back to its original glory. And I just think over the years you're going to see a lot of change down there with the housing, hospitality, retail. I think it comes back strong. I think all the hoods see that it come back strong.
No, and I think that's exciting, and I think if they really build something that can sustain through the seasons, and not just be seasonal and pop-up, right? I think that could really make, but we've had some real game changers in Brooklyn. We have this stuff, really, the arena, it's just Madison Square Garden wasn't happy, but Barclays was happy, and that's been wonderful. What's the next game changer for Brooklyn? Argyris, you want to take it? You're not adventurous. You don't want to go off your comfort zone, right?
I lived in Brooklyn, but I don't know about.
Where did you live in Brooklyn?
Bay Ridge, years ago.
Oh, Bay Ridge is a safe neighborhood, right now. Nothing's changed much there, right? No. What's the next game changer? You have an idea? Something big? What?
Take a step, nobody is. If we don't like it, we're going to strike it.
Go to Utica Avenue.
Go to Utica, yeah, right.
It sounds to me like Coney Island could be the next game changer, but I think to Jack's point, it may not be, people can look at Barclays and say it was a game changer, but honestly, we've been developing and working in Brooklyn for 15 years. Now, 15 years ago, I don't think we would have predicted that the Barclays Center would have been the success that it is today, or that Brooklyn would have become a brand in the way that it did today. But the point is, it doesn't happen overnight. So the game changer idea is really the result of many, many years of careful planning and taking risks and finishing complicated projects and surviving tough markets and doing all of the things you need to do in order to still be there at the end of the day and to produce something that has mass and scale and that people like. That being said, I think transportation is a huge issue, and I think that our success was largely based on the fact that our transportation hub in downtown Brooklyn is so great. The other thing I'll say is that Brooklyn Academy of Music BAM has been in Brooklyn in that neighborhood forever and ever. They have also grown up around their original location, but really it was us and them way back when. But those are very important pieces. The cultural piece is a very important piece of of being able to build something that has mass and scale and becomes a game changer. The other thing is, there's a very large office population now in Brooklyn. Metro Tech was a big part of that.
Everybody knows that.
100,000 workers in downtown Brooklyn and around Metro Tech. There's also 57,000 college students. That's about the same number of students that you find in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So there's a real student population that has, come of age in downtown Brooklyn between NYU Poly, Long Island University, Pratt, Brooklyn Law School. It's a formidable base. So there's a lot of ingredients that take, making these game changers, but it sounds to me like Coney Island could be it.